Welcome back to Normal Baseball. Today we are finalizing our 2023 Will Be Team Projection Series with the Houston Astros, the 2022 World Series champs. Let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome back to Normal Baseball. Today we are finishing out our 2023 Will Be Team Projection Series with the 2022 World Series champion Houston Astros. The Astros were a dominant force last season with a star-studded lineup full of people who could be all-stars. They went 106-56 last season. Beating the Mariners in the division series, sweeping the Yankees in the championship series, and winning the World Series over the Phillies in 6 games. Mm-hmm. So the Astros arguably got even better this season, so we're here to talk about them. The way we do this series, in case this is the first one you're watching, we know we got a lot of Astros fans out there. We love you guys.
Yeah. Hello, Houston.
Hello. that was such an awkward.
Hello, Houston.
Hello, Houston.
Houston, there are no problems here. We're talking about the Astros.
Yeah, there really are no problems here. So, what we did is we graded every team in baseball based on 7 categories. We graded each category 1 to 10. We totaled up the scores and put them from highest to lowest. The Astros came in at the first best team in baseball and the first best team in the American League. Simply, it all makes sense.
How else to say it other than the fucking best? The World Series champs for a reason. And when we start to break down this lineup and talk about certain things about what, the Astros are and what they've done, it makes sense. It makes more than enough sense.
It makes a lot of sense. So, the 7 categories that we ranked 1 to 10 are lineup, bench, defense, rotation, bullpen, coaching, and energy. So those were the 7 categories. We're going to go one by one and kind of explain our thought process for each one. We're going to start with the lineup. The Astros lineup for the 2023 season, we gave them a 9.8 out of 10, an incredibly good score. Here is what their lineup is looking like. Jeremy Pena at shortstop.
This was before any injuries or any setbacks from certain players, too. Just want to preface that beforehand.
Yes. But I'm going to include those players in.
Go for it.
So I'm going to include the 2 injured players right now.
Okay.
So we have Jeremy Pena at shortstop, Kyle Tucker in right field, Alex Bregman at third base, Yordan Alvarez at DH, Jose Abreu at first base, Jose Altuve at second base, Michael Brantley in left field, and Chas McCormick in center field with Martin Maldonado behind the dish. Yes, I included Brantley and Altuve, who are the 2 guys that are injured. Mm-hmm. Brantley should be back soon.
Yeah, he should be back.
Brantley will be back. Brantley will be fine.
I hope so, at least. He's a lot of fun to watch.
And Altuve got hit with that pitch in the World Baseball Classic, so we really don't know when he is going to be back.
It's between 8 to 12 weeks.
Which is a huge hit.
Yeah, huge hit. He already had the surgery, though, as the time of us recording this, which, what's today, the 25th? 26th?
Today is the 27th. So.
27th? Well, it just turned. So the 26th. Basically, is when we're recording this. I do want to say, get well soon, Jose Altuve. The game of baseball certainly needs you. He's a superstar in this game, and yes, you can say that, it doesn't really matter. The Astros still have a great lineup. He is the heart and soul of the Astros organization, and I don't think there's any other way to put it. Get well soon, Jose Altuve.
Yeah, apparently. Yes, get well soon, Altuve. I'm just reading right here. Apparently, Brantley won't be back for a little while.
Really?
So what they do have is what we will see on opening day, just so that you guys can see, even with Altuve injured as well, we'll probably see David Hensley play second base for them on opening day, along with Jake Myers in center field, or, Chas McCormick in center field, Jake Myers in left, something along those lines. Mm-hmm. That's what we'll see on opening day. Yes, get well soon, Jose Altuve, and Michael Brantley. Brantley hopefully comes back sooner than Altuve, or just at around the same time. But
just want a speedy recovery. That's
speedy recovery for everyone.
Yep.
We gotta fucking talk about the fact that this team just won the World Series, made absolutely no changes to their lost no one, and picked up Jose fucking Abreu. Mm-hmm. That is ridiculous to me.
So let's just preface this, and I think you and I both believe that Jose Abreu is still just one of the better first basemen when you're talking about needing a guy to get a single and needing good defense. Jose Abreu definitely, if in my opinion, still has a couple, if not the rest of the contract, the entire contract that he signed with the Astros. I feel like every season he could bat over 300. Is that crazy to say?
No, I agree. I think Abreu is one of the most underrated guys in baseball.
MVP.
He 2020 MVP in the shortened season. Last season he batted .304. He played almost every game for the White Sox. Just such an underrated guy in that lineup. And 15 home runs last season was like low for him. 40 doubles though. So I'd like to see him get back there. Spring training so far, he's got 8 doubles and 2 homers. He's batting .292. He's that guy.
And now, guess what? Those homers, they don't need to come.
Not in this lineup, they don't.
He can have 2 home runs the entire season. Guess what? These Astros are still going to run up the score on any opponent.
Yeah, this lineup is just every single guy feels like they could beat you.
Yep.
Every single guy who comes up to the dish, you're worried that this guy is going to get a hit. This guy's going to hit a homer. This guy's going to double. Every single at bat.
Let's just go through the top 5 guys. Jeremy Pena just won ALCS MVP, World Series MVP, came up, replaced Carlos Correa. No one was sure if he was going to be good enough to replace him, and he does. Both offensively and defensively, I think we can say Jeremy Pena so far has been a success. Kyle Tucker, very easily a top 15 player in baseball. In my opinion. I would put him in the top 15. Alex Bregman.
That's in your opinion.
Yeah.
Go on.
Another guy, in my opinion, is top 15 in baseball. Yordan Alvarez. Easily a top 3 hitter in baseball, I think. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair.
And Jose Abreu, one of the upper echelons of first base in the game.
And in terms of upper echelons, even just for getting on base.
Yeah, on base machine.
That's without Jose Altuve and Michael Brantley. It's absolutely incredible the amount of talent this team has, and a lot of them are homegrown talents, which is even crazier.
Yeah.
Alex Bregman, homegrown, Kyle Tucker, Jeremy Pena, Jose Altuve, obviously. We say that all this homegrown, just wait till we get to their pitching, because that's incredible. But yeah, it's a very good looking lineup, as always, which is why it is by far the best lineup in baseball. This is, of course, we are just prefacing this once again, Astros fans watching. This was based on Jose Altuve and Michael Brantley being in this lineup at some point in the early season.
Yes.
Because when Jose Altuve comes back, obviously we made this before Altuve was injured, so he was in this lineup, which moves a couple guys around and makes this lineup a lot better. It's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous lineup. It's going to win a lot of games on its own. It's scary.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what lineup Dusty Baker rolls out for opening day, because last season Dusty Baker had the luxury that 29 other managers wish that they had of he changed the lineup all of, I think it was 3 times the entire regular season. Just make photocopies of the same lineup and just give it to the press every day.
That's my philosophy. My philosophy, or my thought is, like, to have a successful team, to have a championship dynasty, not even dynasty, even if you're just like, we're winning this year.
You want to win.
Yeah. You have to have those guys who know where they're playing every day. You have to have that consistency in your lineup. You have to have the Jeremy Pena. He's playing shortstop every day. We know that. Kyle Tucker, he's playing right field every day. We know that.
Yeah.
Alex Bregman, he's playing third base every day. Jose Altuve is playing second base every day. Jose Abreu playing for... so on and so on.
Yeah.
These guys know where they're playing. Astros fans wake up every morning saying, I already know what the lineup is going to be today.
Yeah.
It's just having that, what it does for the players, confidence-wise, and just really clubhouse-wise, says a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think now, obviously, we've seen it when the Astros do have their back against the wall. They, from time to time, slot in Yordan Alvarez in left field, especially in Minute Maid Park. Having the Crawford boxes there makes it a very small left field, can be very beneficial to them. But that's like the only real change that I could see being made to the lineup, and that's just defensively. Yordan can still hit cleanup and play left field.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful thing that this Astros organization has built a team that was able to come up sort of together, you know, everyone making it to the big leagues at the same time and in turn with each other, and now all being able to produce. They already won a World Series last year. They're ranked number one for a reason. I think we can both say that they have the best shot of winning the World Series again this year.
Yeah, that we'll get into later. That I'm not going to say that right this second.
I'm not saying that they're going to.
We'll get into that later. We'll get into that later.
That's a later episode. Stay tuned.
Not even later episode. I just mean later in this episode.
Okay.
We'll talk about that a lot more. I think we'll see Yordan in left a lot. That's my opinion. I think we're going to see him in left a lot. A lot of people think he's going to be DHing, but the guy is what, 25 years old? Gotta play the field. Come on.
He's going to be 26 this season.
That doesn't change my thought on it
I don't know.
He's not turning into Pujols. You lose... Who they lost in this lineup? Really no one. Yuli Gurriel, Christian Vasquez, who really, like...
And Trey Mancini.
I'm not really counting Trey Mancini. Same thing with Christian Vasquez. Like, they're not, like, the guys in this lineup. Mm-hmm. Like, in terms of guys who were in this lineup for the past few years who have, like, made those World Series runs with them before, it's really just Yuli Gurriel, which you replace him with Jose Abreu. You're in a
sort
good
of
spot.
the same thing, but you just get better offensive entirely.
Whoa.
What? Gurriel gets on base. He didn't bat like exactly 300. He was sort of on the downward angle, but Jose Abreu is definitely the best option to replace him with.
Oh, I agree, but whoa. Anyway, so we'll move on to their bench. Their bench, we gave them a 7.4 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Close to the best bench we have out there. I think it is the best bench we gave. Their bench, again, assuming that we're going to go off the Fangraphs side, and we're going to assume that Altuve and Brantley are on this lineup. Their bench would be looking like Jake Myers, David Hensley, J.J. Matijevic, and Mauricio Dubon. And Corey Lee. Corey Lee would be their backup catcher. Very good, very deep bench.
Yeah.
When you have a guy like Jake Myers and David Hensley, who Hensley had some rough patches, but like overall he's been a pretty good player for them. Especially like as a bench guy, kind of utility-ish, who can play a couple different positions. Sorry. Very valuable. What do you... Say your part on their bench while I cough my lungs out.
Well, I am most looking forward to seeing Corey Lee. I've been a very big believer in him for the past about 3 seasons now. I'm very happy to say that he's getting his chance. Of course, right now it's going to be a bench role, but would it surprise me if Martin Maldonado eventually kind of, got pushed away and Corey Lee was the guy who they turned to, another young prospect guy from the Astros organization that comes up and just does the damn thing, plays baseball really well, which we know the Astros to do? I think so. I'm a big believer in Corey Lee, and that's really what was the driving force behind why I gave the bench such a high rating, because I do genuinely believe a lot in Corey Lee's ability to produce at the major league level, both offensively and defensively.
Okay. I can't say too much on that because I'm not very well versed in the whole Corey Lee thing.
I would actually, if Corey Lee called me tomorrow and asked me to be his hype man, I would.
Okay.
I believe in Corey Lee.
Okay. I'm now very high on David Hensley because I just looked up like a couple of his, how he's been,
Yeah.
His birthday is actually tomorrow, March 28th.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, David Hensley. Wow. March 28th, which is, it might have been yesterday for the day this episode's coming out.
It's somewhere.
It was sometime soon, so happy birthday to him. But just looking through his stuff, he, last season in only 16 games, yes, batted .345. I mean, that's incredible.
What more did you want?
Nothing. I mean, his spring training hasn't been great, but again, spring training, who cares? Who cares? No one cares about spring training. I don't care about spring training. You don't care about, we just want the regular season, where he batted .345 last year. So, I'm high on David Hensley now. He will be probably, this is saying that he will be in their lineup on opening day because of the Altuve injury. So, I'm excited to see him now. As far as the rest of the bench goes, JJ Matijevic, I believe it's a guy that a lot of Astros fans love. I could be wrong. Astros fans, let me know if you...
In the comments.
Let me know if you like JJ Matijevic. I'm fairly certain. And then you got Dubon, who has been this prospect for them for a while, if I remember. Not for them, but just prospect in general. I believe he was in the Giants organization before this. The name Mauricio Dubon has been in the baseball circles for a while. I'm excited to see just him play a bunch. What? You weren't... Dubon's been on my... I feel like I've known Mauricio Dubon for the past few years.
I feel like I've only ever heard of him, just in passing as one of those guys who couldn't succeed entirely at the major league level, but I'm not familiar with him. So that's all that I have to say.
Well, I'm not saying he's a prospect.
Yeah.
I'm just saying his name has been going around recently. The past few years.
All right. I'll believe it.
In 2020, he was on the Giants team. He played pretty well. Same thing in 2021. I don't know. I feel like I just knew the name Mauricio Dubon, and I like him as a bench name.
Okay. Good bench name. Out of 10, what do you give the bench name?
For 6-7.
Okay.
6-7.
Okay.
Do we want to move on to their pitching?
Let's do it.
This is absolutely insane what we're about to say. Their rotation, we gave them a solid 9 out of 10. Rookie score, yes, but felt necessary. This rotation, this is wild. I can't believe I'm about to say this. So, this rotation, every single one of them is a homegrown talent. We have Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, Jose Urquidy, Luis Garcia, and Hunter Brown. In addition, you have Lance McCullers Jr., who is coming back from a strained elbow. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how fast he can get back.
Which, when he comes back, it's more than likely Luis Garcia is going to hit the bullpen, if I had to guess.
Yeah, or
guess. Or Urquidy?
Garcia or Urquidy, probably. It's not going to be Javier or Valdez.
No, definitely not. Hunter Brown is... I'll talk about him later.
This is an incredible pitching rotation. You lose a guy like Verlander, and you could still comfortably say that this rotation can beat anyone in a 7-game series, is absolutely wild. Framber Valdez last season, 2.82 ERA in 31 starts. Urquidy, 28 starts, had a 3.94 ERA. Javier was part of 2 combined no-hitters, one in the World Series. 25 starts, had a 2.54 ERA. Just absolute dominance from this pitching staff. And even Lance McCullers only started 8 games, but pitched 47 2/3 innings with a 2.27 ERA. Yeah. The man was great. This whole pitching staff was amazing. They're going to win a lot of games this season. It's hard to talk about these guys because we just all know how good they are and how good they can be. Everyone's saying, Luis Garcia can't do the rock the baby walk. Who cares? He's still going to be dominant. He's still going to be good. Everyone on this team is just stud level players, and they're all coming into form at the right times because, losing a guy like Justin Verlander. Verlander just won a unanimous Cy Young. Of course he is going to be missed in this rotation, but these are guys who can pick up for it. Framber Valdez has the stuff to win a unanimous Cy Young. It's just incredible what this organization does, and the fact that every single one of these is a homegrown talent, including Lance McCullers Jr., just shows how amazing of an organization this really is.
Completely agree with you. Just to touch a little bit more on some of the pitchers, and just some of the pitching and the ability with these guys. Framber Valdez, who I was lucky enough I got to watch him throw a live bullpen down in spring training earlier this month. I was standing maybe at the edge of the circle in which home plate sits. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I was basically standing in the left-handed batter's box side, but a few steps away, obviously, from the batter's box for the entire bullpen session, and I understand why Framber Valdez is so good. It always, from when you watch a video on it and you watch it live on TV, it kind of looks like every pitch is very hittable. All they need to do is extend their arms. But now, after seeing it in person so close, I am not going to fault anybody for not being able to touch Framber Valdez. We know Christian Javier has unhittable stuff. He's done it twice last
Literally,
season.
yeah.
Did the no-hitter thing. Jose Urquidy has always looked solid. Luis Garcia out of the bullpen will look fine, or starting will look fine. And Hunter Brown, I'll talk about a little bit later. Super high on him. Same mechanics as Justin Verlander.
There you go.
Are you really going to miss Verlander if you have two of them?
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far just yet, but I am very excited to see Hunter Brown, just get a full spot in this rotation this season, because he was up and down a little bit last season, if I remember correctly.
He was. There are not enough words for me to describe how much I agree.
He still has all three options, so that means they didn't bring him up and down.
No, they called him up late into the season, and then I don't think that he made the postseason roster.
Yeah. Gotcha. Very excited for this pitching rotation.
Agreed.
They are going to be lights out this season. Again, if you're worried about losing Justin Verlander, don't be worried, because this rotation has it in them.
Yeah. And of course, it would be cool to have Justin Verlander here, but you guys are going to be fine. I don't think I could make any guarantees, but I would feel most confident in saying that this pitching staff is still the best pitching staff in baseball when it comes to the started pitching.
There you go. Moving on to their bullpen. We give their bullpen a 9.5 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Fair. Ryan Presley, Rafael Montero, Brian Abreu, Hector Neris, Ryan Stanek, Phil Maton, Seth Martinez, Ronel Blanco, and that's it. Ronel Blanco, I believe they've been testing him as a starter they did. I think a decent bit in spring training.
They have.
But even then, still, he's listed as in the bullpen right now. Just all these guys are lights out.
It's good to have a lone reliever, too. And from what I know of Ronel Blanco, he looks to be just another one of the Houston Astros pitching prospects that is just going to be really good. There's no other way for me to describe it from what I've seen and from what I've read, from what other people talk about. He just looks really good.
Yeah, last season in the majors, he made his debut. Had a couple very bad appearances, though, so hopefully he can be better this year.
Hey, if those nerves are gone, I'd be worried.
Oh, you mean if he's feeling confident?
If he feels confident and he doesn't really think about this is my third time up in the big leagues and getting a shot. If he kind of throws it out the window, it's just another great pitcher ready to blossom, it feels like.
There you go. They did lose Will Smith from this bullpen, who they had last season, but I think they'll be fine. Ryan Presley is going to be lights out this season.
Just put on a clinic in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah. Again, this bullpen, along with Christian Javier, has been part of 2 no-hitters. Mm-hmm. And just feels like every time they go in with the lead into this bullpen, teams are feeling horrible. Because this is a hard bullpen to score off of, unless you're, the 2 bad times that Ryan Presley gives up the runs. But, other than that, this bullpen is going to be lights out. You're going to have those tiny little, maybe a game or two that's blown. Maybe not literally one or two, maybe a little more than that, but a couple games that are blown.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was only one or two, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was only one or two, but this is going to be a lights-out bullpen.
Yeah.
9.5.
The one name that I would consider sort of a wild card, and I don't know how Astros fans feel from an outside perspective of someone who's not an Astros fan, myself. Well, not the biggest Astros fan is what I should say. I don't know how I feel about Ryan Stanek. It seems like he wasn't the best in high leverage situations in the regular season, let alone the postseason, where they didn't really lean on him as much as you would want, considering that you're a 32-year-old veteran of the bullpen. I think that Ryan Stanek is a name to watch out because
Ryan. No way.
Ryan Stanek is definitely a guy that you want to be looking out for. I'm going to be keeping my eye on him, especially because from what I have seen and what I have know of him, he can't be relied on extremely. Like, he can't be leaned on heavily as much as Ryan Presley, Rafael Montero, Hector Neris, those guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing him maybe try to improve on his stuff, because if he does, then the rating for the bullpen that we gave could even go higher. He's the one guy who I'm going to be looking at a lot this year.
Yeah, it's just there's tons of guys. I think who I'm looking at, Brian Abreu. I'm looking at him a lot, along with that's really Brian Abreu. I'm interested to watch him just because I watched him pitch a lot last season. I feel like, and he was a force, to say the very, very least.
No other way to put it.
So we'll see what happens there. He had a 1.94 ERA last season, Brian Abreu did. Bullpen, again, 9.5. Their coaching, we also gave their coaching a 9.5 out of 10. Development. The amount of homegrown talent on this team
is amazing.
Is ridiculous. Not only that, Dusty Baker, I truly do believe, is a top 3 manager in baseball right now.
Oh, yeah. No other way to put it.
Such a great baseball mind. Just knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly how to lead a team. Dusty Baker, I'm very jealous that the Astros have him. I think he's a perfect fit for an Astros team. Just his whole personality. He's like that Southern guy, Southern boy. He has the toothpick in his mouth. He's got the accent. And he's just Dusty Baker is a great Astros manager.
And for being such a
invented the high five.
That too. I don't want to be disrespectful to Dusty Baker. Absolutely love the guy and love what he's done. But for such an old guy, being able to control such a young group of guys and get them focused on one goal of winning a World Series, he did it really well last year. And from what both you and I have seen at spring training this year for the Astros, he's doing a damn good job again.
Oh, he's going to continue to do a good job. He's going to lead this team again to another just dominant season. And there's no other way to put it except for dominant. We know that this team is going to be dominant this year.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to seeing what lineup Dusty Baker rolls out 90% of the time after everyone gets back healthy. Well,
yeah.
99% of the time.
But even then, without them being healthy, I still think they're going to dominate. Yeah.
It's incredible. It's a beautiful thing. Dusty Baker just is great, along with the rest of their player development staff. And, I mean, if you want to go a little bit further into it, their scouting, too, who does just as much to find all of these guys who are now some of the best in the game. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah. Give a round of applause, Dusty Baker. Wow, we were on the same wavelength. Dusty Baker.
Dusty Baker.
All right. Moving on to their energy. We gave them an 8.8 for their energy. This team knows how to have fun. It's as simple as they're all pretty much all winners. Like, they were all on the team last year except for Jose Abreu.
Yep.
They just know how to win. They know how to create excitement. They just know everything that has to do with exciting baseball.
And I feel like they're such a professional organization in the sense of they're going to let you know that they're World Series champions this year. They're going to let you know that they can beat you however way they want, but they're only going to show it to their teammates. Alex Bregman, when he hits a big double, let's just say late down the stretch of the season, he's not going to be screaming to the crowd. He's not going to be screaming to the other bench. He's only going to be looking straight at his bench. Same thing with Jordan. He hits a big home run. He's going to bat flip. Yes, of course. That's part of Jordan's game is great bat flips, but he's going to be looking dead at just his bench. I don't know why I said bullpen. Jeremy Pena, Kyle Tucker, same sort of way. Kyle Tucker, I'm just really high on. I have been for a few years now, and I'm happy to say that, in my opinion, he's a top 15 player in baseball. And I think that genuinely we're going to see him and Jeremy Pena kind of come out together, like out of their shells a little bit, because they are a little bit restrictive. Kyle Tucker has his moments, so does Jeremy Pena. But give us some more, guys. You guys just won a World Series. What more do you have? What more do you need to do right now to hold back this upcoming season?
Okay. First of all, baseball. They know how to play baseball.
They know how to play baseball.
What more could you ask? Like you said, just absolute electric. I'm so excited to watch this team again.
Yep.
So excited to see how dominant they are and how dominant they continue to be. So another round of applause for the Astros.
And let it be known, this offseason, they went through basically without a GM, which was pretty coul.
That's true.
Yeah,
No, not really.
Yeah. All the big moves were made
before. Well, they didn't really make too many moves.
Well, they signed... Jim Crane signed Abreu.
That's it.
And he extended Javier. Those were like the only two real moves that they made.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. If you're counting at home, we gave them a 63.1 out of the total 70 possible points. So only 6.9 missing there. Nice. First in baseball, first in the American League, just a dominant team. They are very likely to win the World Series once again this season. Lewis, tell us about a rookie who I think we all know who it will be. So tell us about him.
Hunter Brown, ladies and gentlemen, currently ranked as the 43rd best prospect in all of baseball, first in the Houston Astros organization. We're talking about Hunter Brown. He had a 2.55 ERA and a 185 opponent batting average across AAA oh my God, sorry about that. A 185 opponent batting average, and he averaged he had 11.4 strikeouts per 9. That's amazing. This guy throws, let me just verify this just to make sure. Fastball, curve, slider, changeup, and all of them so far on StatCast and on Baseball Savant, they look like professional stuff. They look tight. They look doable. They look untouchable. The fastball is there. And last season and this offseason, he's worked on incorporating a sinker. If he can tunnel a fastball, sinker, and slider, I'm sorry, you're talking about another guy who is just going to be untouchable in the Houston Astros rotation. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. Hunter Brown, I could genuinely go on forever about him.
Yeah, if this guy pans out how a lot of people think he will.
How I think he will.
How you think he will, he'll be very dangerous. I'm very excited to watch Hunter Brown again, and especially the whole thing with the Verlander mechanics. I just absolutely love it.
The fact that his in a game of baseball that is forever changing, there will always be a new guy to come up with something different. You see Luis Garcia, who used to do the Rock the Baby. Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, they both have different windups. To see Hunter Brown simplify all of his mechanics, do basically the same exact windup as Justin Verlander, and produce such high velocity, good spin rate, and amazing breaking stuff is such a breath of fresh air to the game of baseball, which is forever going this way. And Hunter Brown is going this way. At the fork in the road, he chose to be different by doing things simpler, by being more simple. And I love that, and I'm looking forward to talking about him towards the end of the season with Rookie of the Year finalists, maybe even saying he could finish top 25 in Cy Young. Get that on his resume on Baseball Reference nice and early. Hunter Brown is going to be phenomenal.
There you go. I love it.
Love it.
Hunter Brown.
And on that note, we are finally done with all of the will be's.
Well, not yet. We still have a little bit more. We have MVP pitcher and hitter for this team.
Yep.
Who it will be, Lewis, who will be their MVP pitcher this season?
Hunter Brown.
Hunter Brown.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get confident here. Hunter Brown.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with Framber Valdez.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Over Christian Javier. I thought that you were a bigger Christian Javier guy.
No, I'm a big Framber guy. I'm going Framber Valdez.
All right.
Who will be their MVP hitter this season?
Kyle Tucker. I love him so much. He's such a great ball player, and the fact that he goes under the radar in this Astros lineup blows my mind.
All right, I'm going Jeremy Pena. The guy's having an amazing spring. Not that matters, but he is having an amazing spring.
Honorable mention to Alex Bregman.
Yeah, he's not in the shot.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there you go. Alex Bregman. No, but Jeremy Pena having a great spring. The guy's triceps are the size of the World Series trophy.
And the size of your head.
Size of my head. It's because I don't have a giant head like you. So.
They call me the human bobblehead.
I'm very excited to watch Jeremy Pena follow up his incredible postseason run. So Jeremy Pena is going to be my pick. I know you could pick Jose Altuve. I know you could pick Abreu or Yordan, but I'm going to pick the young guy. I'm going to pick Jeremy Pena.
I mean, if there was a Team Silver Slugger Award, I think preseason we could already etch in stone it would go to the Houston Astros by the end of the season.
Oh, yeah. This team is over-under at 97.5 wins. Oh. I'm going over.
I'm soaring over that.
Yeah, no.
They might win over 110 games. And it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised either. So, now comes the point in the episode where I say the 2023 Astros will be, and you tell me what place in the AL West the 2023 Houston Astros will be in. Do you want to say it at the same time? Let's say it at the same time.
Okay.
The 2023 Houston Astros will be in first place in the American League West. There's no other way to say it. This is a first place team.
Oh, yeah. And if they somehow get knocked off by the Mariners, we could be talking about...
They won't.
...the biggest upset of all time.
Yeah, they won't.
They won't, but it would be... It's a cool storyline. Throwing it out there now, so that way, if it does happen...
Get it at it! Cool. Get that at it! Cool. Astros. Let's go, Astros. We thank you guys.
Go, Astros.
We thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing, commenting, subscribing. We love you guys. Share if you enjoyed. That would mean a lot to us, and put a little thumbs up on the video.
And to anyone who watched or listened to all 30 of these, thank you. And we hope to certainly hear some insight from you on not only your favorite team, but every team that we talked about, all 30 of them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening.
Yeah, we agree. I agree.
We agree. We myself and I. We all agree.
Yeah, all 7 of my personalities in my head agree. If also comment on, just any general thoughts, whether it's about the Astros episode by itself or just the whole series in general. What you think we could improve on, what you think we did well. We appreciate all the criticism, all the suggestions, should I say. And we will see you guys when the season starts. Well, the next episode we'll see you guys in is our full prediction episode for the season and prop bets and over-unders and all that fun stuff. We will see you guys then. We love you guys. Let's go baseball. Peace.